1865. A couple of things happened in this year for America. The Civil War ended, President Lincoln saw God, and slavery was abolished. December 6th, the 13th Amendment was passed, which stated, "Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction." Later, the 14th Amendment was passed, which states, "All persons born or naturalized in the United States, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of laws." Then, on February 3rd, 1870, the 15th Amendment was passed, which states, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude." Alright, cool. Well, what the hell does this mean? These rights gave people of color the right to vote and to pretty much be American citizens. But there's a catch. Racism was very much alive, so even though the previous slaves were now normal people in society, white people didn't like that. So unfair precautions were made up to prevent people of color from doing the very things they just got access to. That's where we get to what this is about, the Jim Crow laws. First, we need to understand where the Jim Crow laws came from. In 1892, a man named Homer Plessy, who was white passing, boarded a train and sat in the white section. The conductor argued with him to sit in the back with the other black people, and eventually, Mr. Plessy was kicked off the train and arrested for violating the state's laws. Plessy and his lawyer fought it in court, saying that the separate but equal accommodations were unconstitutional. Sadly, they didn't win, and racism still did its thing. The judges argued that it wasn't unconstitutional, and they could decide if you were white or black. As a result, the Jim Crow laws were born, allowing discrimination to be more strict. The Jim Crow laws, which first made their appearance in 1877, were laws that made racial segregation legal, and they lasted for over a century. They were more enforced after the case with Plessy. They were given their name in honor of Thomas Rice, a well-known entertainer in the 1830s who would dress as a stereotypical black person, sing, and dance. These extremely racist performances led to the naming of these discriminatory laws, as it was seen as suitable. Those who disobeyed them almost always ended up having to pay hefty fines or go to jail. Worst-case scenarios involved them facing violence and death. These restrictions were a major issue since they caused difficulty for people of color. People of color were seen as second-class citizens, which was a very low standard at the time. When a white person was walking their way, people of color would step off the sidewalk and out of the way. Everywhere you went, there were boundaries keeping blacks from mixing with whites. It included everything from using the restroom and visiting a park to being buried or having children. Everything was separated, and some had a difference in quality. In short, no. Black people were not genuinely equal just because they had the same number of rights as white people. For example, although people of color were finally able to have an education, it was not at the same level as white people, nor did they even attend the same institutions. Black people and white people were kept apart in any situation requiring them to be in close contact. Some restaurants had 2 stories, with one floor reserved for white customers and the other for black customers. It is crucial to understand these laws and how they impact individuals. History will probably never include this as one of America's proudest moments. Unfortunately, racism remains despite the lifting of these laws. Learning the Jim Crow laws' effects on people of color can help us avoid repeating their mistakes and realize that all Americans have the same rights regardless of their skin tone. Overall, the Jim Crow laws were an injustice that left people of color starting over from square one. Although they legally had rights, there were dozens of roadblocks that prevented them from being fully free.